Right up to date with the matches in progress. Third bottom Bolton playing third top Arsenal. No win in 5 for the Gunners. If 5 becomes 6, their title challenge could be all but over. Damien Johnson reporting.
Bolton 2, 10-man Arsenal 2, an absorbing game with so much at stake for both sides. Bolton raced into the lead, 2 goals from Matt Taylor. In between, Abu Diaby was sent off for a wild lunge at Greta Steinson. In the second half, a brilliant fight back from Arsenal. Gallas ghosted in at the far post as Bolton slept at a corner. Then Alexander Hleb tripped in the area by Gary Cahill. Van Persie sent the keeper the wrong way to make it 2-2. It's anyone's game.
Manchester United kick off at 5:15 at home to Aston Villa. Latest news now from St Andrews, where fourth bottom Birmingham City are playing Manchester City. Birmingham kicked off a point away from a relegation place. Andrew James.
Yeah, Birmingham 2, Manchester City 1, Ray. We thought this was going to be a dour affair. It's been anything but. Birmingham 2-0 up through goals from Zarate either side of half-time, the Argentinian. But then Manchester City getting back through Elano, his 6th goal of the season. A penalty after Quadru was adjudged by Rob Styles to have brought down Benjani. Quadru shown the red card and Elano scoring from the spot kick. It's Birmingham 2, Manchester City 1.
Derby's relegation could be confirmed. They're playing second bottom Fulham. Derby doomed, but Fulham fans will think the same if their team lose this afternoon. Ivan Gaskell reporting.
Yes, so around about 14 minutes left. Derby 1, Fulham 1. Derby on the verge of relegation here. Fulham on the verge of missing a really good opportunity to help save themselves. 1-1, more later.
Right, let's go back to St Andrews. Andrew James, Birmingham, Manchester City. Developments.
Well, Ray, it is an interesting development to say the least. It's a penalty to Birmingham City this time for a foul by Sun Ji-hai on Gary McSheffrey. Now, we saw a red card given to the Birmingham defender Frank Quadru in similar circumstances a few minutes ago. Sun Ji-hai hasn't been red carded by Rob Styles, although Styles is calling him over to him at this moment. And Gary McSheffrey, who ballooned a great scoring opportunity over the bar at the railway end in the first half, has the opportunity to put 10-man Birmingham 3-1 up here and presumably secure the points for the Blues of Birmingham City at this stage. It's going to be McSheffrey against Joe Hart, and McSheffrey scores. It's 3-1 to Birmingham City.
It could be a vital 3 points for Birmingham, kicking off fourth bottom, very close to the relegation places. 3-1 in St Andrews. After their first away win last Saturday, Sunderland need a home win to build on that this afternoon. Sunderland at home to West Ham this afternoon. Let's hear from Steve Sutton.
It's Sunderland 1, West Ham 1, Ray. Both goals in the first half. Kenwyn Jones for Sunderland and Freddie Lundberg for West Ham. But West Ham have hit a post, and Sunderland have had a good shout for a penalty turned down. Still anybody's game. Sunderland pressing hard. 1-1.
Developments at Pride Park. Ivan Gaskell, a goal in the Derby-Fulham game.
It looks like Derby are definitely down today. Derby 1, Fulham 2. Diamansi Kamara with a drive that was brilliantly saved by Carroll, but the rebound fell to Bawatsa. Bawatsa's shot wasn't well hit, but it bounced wickedly off the instep of Derby defender Leacock. Over Carroll it went, and agonisingly for Derby, but joyfully for Fulham, into the back of the Derby net. Derby 1, Fulham 2.
That gives Fulham a chance. If they can win this afternoon, Derby going to be relegated. That's going to be confirmed sooner or later, one way or the other. 3 wins in 4 for Reading, 6th bottom going into a home game where they place Blackburn. Roger Johnson reporting. Are the Royals going to keep their good run going?
Well, they've got their backs against the wall, Ray, because it's 0-0, a drab and drizzly day with a game to match until a few minutes ago when Reading's Marek Matiowski was sent off for a second yellow card. Cue a rise in the temperature both on the pitch, on the benches and in the stands, and a Blackburn siege now. To this point, Blackburn have had the best 2 opportunities, a couple of long-range shots which Hardiman has saved, and now Reading have their backs to the wall, 0-0.
Talk about playing for Pride, back to Pride Park. Ivan Gaskell.
Derby aren't done yet. Derby 2, Fulham 2. A real blow for Fulham within 60 seconds that they had taken the lead. Across from the right, and Villa, the Argentinian striker, with his 2nd goal of the game. This time, no doubt about it, a well-taken header into the corner. Derby 2, Fulham 2.
Derby still going down as things stand, but really making a fight of it. Luton 2, Crewe 1. Luton are going to be relegated come what may, but Crewe aren't safe. They kicked off 5th bottom in the table. They need points to get away from the relegation places. Luton 2, Crewe 1. Colchester, bottom of the Championship, have taken the lead away at the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion, desperate for an automatic promotion place from the Championship. West Brom 2, Colchester 3. Port Vale, they're going to be relegated come what may, but they're making a fight of it at home to Leyton Orient in League One. Port Vale 1, Orient 1. What an afternoon. 7 days hence, Portsmouth will be playing at Wembley for an FA Cup final spot. They're at Fratton Park today for a league game with Wigan. 6th top versus 7th bottom. Tony Lockwood reporting.
It's Portsmouth 1, Wigan 0. David James has saved a penalty. Jermaine Defoe has kept up his outstanding scoring record. 7 in 7 since the striker moved to the south coast, squeezing the ball home from the tightest of angles. Wigan then awarded a dubious penalty. Alan Wiley felt Antonio Valencia had been brought down in the area by Sylvain Distin. There appeared no contact. James saved Ryan Taylor's spot kick. Sibierski and King are on for Wigan, pressing for an equaliser. 1-0 Pompey.
Well, where to start? So many fascinating talking points today. I guess we have to start with Arsenal. 10 men, 2 down, fighting to get back in the game. Bolton will be kicking themselves,
Can I just shift you? Can I go from north to the Midlands? Because Birmingham are playing Manchester City at the moment. I've just seen one of the worst referee decisions I've seen in a long time. Rob Styles, a perfectly acceptable shoulder charge by 2 players, and he decides to penalise the Birmingham City player and give a penalty. It's one of the worst decisions I've seen in years. We all make mistakes, but this is a howler.
What about Arsenal? Is their title challenge over today?
If they don't get the winner, I think it is. I think they needed to win today to stand any chance of getting back into the title race. Bolton is self-destructed, really. We're comfortable cruising at 2-0. Give away a bad goal from a corner. Now all of a sudden it's Arsenal in the ascendancy and they're down to 10 men.
There'll be debate about the red card in that match. Diaby being sent off for the Arsenal. How do you view the challenge?
I don't think there should be a debate. I think it was a definite red card. Diaby comes in reckless and dangerous on Steinson. Ray, he misses the ball and he stamps on he comes through on his standing leg, and it was a leg breaker really. So he deserved to go off, but Arsenal have shown some character to come back into it and give themselves a chance against a Bolton side who have really gifted it to them as well with some poor defending.
I think it's a brilliant performance with 10 men, a brilliant performance by Arsenal, and they can still win this.
Still time for scorelines to change. To Scotland and a report on an Old Firm match of huge significance in regard to the title race. Conor McNamara watched the match.
Well, Rangers must still travel to Celtic Park twice before the end of the season, but this result means that even if Walter Smith's men lose both of those games, they can still win the SPL title. The all-important goal here came just before half-time. Kevin Thompson had never scored for Rangers before, but he did brilliantly to complete a 1-2 inside the penalty area before coolly slotting the ball below the advancing goalkeeper. Rangers hardly threatened another goal, but they didn't need to. Their defence outmuscled Samaras and Vennegoor of Hesselink. The pressure builds on Gordon Strachan. He has now lost 4 Old Firm derbies in a row.
2 more to come. Rangers have a 6-point lead and also have a game in hand. Also in the SPL today, a 3rd place finish brings UEFA Cup spot. Dundee United kicked off 3rd, going into an away game at Hearts. Ian Turner reporting.
It's Hearts 1, Dundee United 0 with 7 minutes to go, and still anyone's game. It's pretty competitive stuff, threatening to boil over at times, but Hearts still have their noses in front thanks to Larry Kingston's well-taken first-half goal. Craig Levine's brought on Danny Swanson and Jim O'Brien to try to get United back into it, but it's very tight.
Coventry's relegation fears eased somewhat this afternoon, it would appear. Plymouth, who kicked off in a playoff place in the Championship, 3-1 to Coventry. But plenty of time, plenty of games to go. Returning to the SPL, the expectation going into today's matches, Gretna's relegation would be mathematically confirmed. Gretna away to second bottom St Mirren, but as Brian McLaughlin will confirm, getting 11 players out onto the pitch has become the struggle for Gretna.
Yes, it's not been easy, Ray. 22 players in total were made redundant this week by the club, and they trailed St Mirren this afternoon by 2-0. Dargo after 27 minutes and Billy Mehmet 4 minutes into the second half. Gretna, though, to their credit, are making a fight of it in the second period. Kyle Norton had a header just over the bar, and Gavin Skelton found good space inside the box, but fired his left foot shot just inches past the post. With 4 minutes left for play here at Love Street, and it's St Mirren 2, Gretna 0.
Stoke with the league leaders in the Championship when this afternoon's matches got going. They're playing away at third bottom Sheffield Wednesday. Goal's just been scored. Harry Gratian.
A terrific goal for Sheffield Wednesday as well. Frank Songo scoring. It's all Wednesday at the moment. In fact, they could now make it 2. They didn't. The ball shooting across the face of the Stoke defence there. 1-1. Songo has equalised for Wednesday.
And Bristol City have gone 5 matches without a win. They were second in the table with their home game with Norwich got underway. A match Hamish Marshall is watching.
Yeah, it's 1-1, Ray, and Bristol City's stutter is going on. They've been under the cosh for virtually all of the second half, despite going in front through Dele Adebola just before the break. Norwich, with substitute Lee Croft pulling the strings, created a number of chances, and eventually a lovely finish from Darren Huckabee tied things up. Both sides are really pushing for the win now. We've got 5 minutes left, and it's 1-1.
It's third versus fourth in the Championship today, and it's a great day for Hull, it would appear. James Mason on Hull versus Watford.
Certainly is. The points all wrapped up here, Ray. Hull City 3, Watford 0. Hull's third goal scored by substitute Caleb Fulham after he powered through the Watford defence and slid home his 8th goal of the season. On 74 minutes, Steve Cabell was sent off for Watford, a straight red card. A day to forget for them. Hull City 3, Watford 0.
West Bromwich Albion were 4 points off an automatic promotion place when Colchester arrived at the Hawthorns. Bottom of the table, Colchester, all but relegated. Doesn't always work out that way, does it? Andy Barwell reporting.
No, it doesn't, Ray. A huge shock on the cards here. West Brom asleep for the first 20 minutes. Colchester 2 up, but West Brom really got back into this, and they've battered Colchester in this second half. But against the run of play, it was Colchester with a corner. It wasn't cleared by the home side. Kevin Lisby getting the final touch. At the moment, it's West Brom 2, Colchester 3.
1 point separates the top 3 in the Championship. It could go any way. Back to the Reebok. Bolton against Arsenal. Damien Johnson.
Still anyone's game, 7 minutes to go. It's still Bolton Wanderers 2, Arsenal 2. Terrific fight back in the second half from Arsenal. Arsenal had a great chance to take the lead a moment ago. A great run down the right-hand side from Walcott on as a second half substitute, as McCann fizzes a shot just wide. Yeah, Walcott on as a second half substitute. Great right-wing run. He pulled the ball back for Van Persie. Close range, he hit it over the bar. It's still 2-2.
So far 2, East 5-3 this afternoon. Derby against Fulham, Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, Derby 2, Fulham 2, like the one at the Reebok. This one could also go either way. 4 or 5 minutes for it to do just that. 2 apiece at the moment, Derby going down today. They may well look back at Savage's fine opportunity just around about 10 minutes ago. He shot straight at Keller. He really should have done so much better. And there's a big shout from the Fulham fans for a foul from big Darren Moore on Johnson, Eddie Johnson, the Fulham player, right in the heart of the penalty area. It wasn't given, it was clumsy, but they played on, 2-2.
Fulham kicked off 4 points from safety. Fourth bottom, the team they're chasing, Birmingham, at home to Manchester City, and 3 points it would appear. Andrew James.
Yes, they seem to be home and dry now. Well, not quite dry. It's driving rain here, Ray, at St Andrews. Birmingham 3, Manchester City 1. 2 goals for Zarate. The Gary McSheffrey controversial penalty that Garth was referring to. And in between that, an Ilano penalty for Manchester City after Benjani had been fouled by Quadru. But really, Manchester City will rue earlier misses in the first half. Benjani hit a post. Since then, all the best scoring chances have been with Birmingham, and they deserve their lead. They lead by 3 goals to 1.
Is there going to be a late winner at the Stadium of Light? Steve Sutton is watching Sunderland play West Ham.
It's still 1-1, Ray, but what price when the final analysis is done at the end of this season on a miss by Daryl Murphy? 10 minutes from time, Kenwyne Jones surged into the box. He's squared it across the face of goal. Murphy, about 8 yards out, unmarked, went to break the net, threatened the back of the stand. It's still 1-1.
Hard to take your eyes off the match at the Reebok between Bolton and Arsenal. Well, let's go to the Majeski Stadium. Reading Blackburn, Roger Johnson.
It's still Reading 0, Blackburn 0. Reading, remember, down to 10 men, and it's opened the game up enormously. BK for Reading with a header cleared off the Blackburn line, and a missed effort by Stephen Hunt when all he had to do was connect to score. And then just moments ago at the other end, an excellent save from Hahnemann off the boot of Roque Santa Cruz. We're heading into added time in just a moment. Either side could score here. It's 0-0 though.
Reading 5 points away from the relegation places. So are Wigan. They're away at Portsmouth this afternoon. Tony Lockwood reporting.
Jermaine Defoe's goal the difference, but Fabio Capello could do with getting hold of a copy of the match video to see just how good David James has been. Not just a spot kick save, Emil Heskey threw on goal, James saved, and a moment ago from Antoine Sibierski, a stunning volley tipped over. James has been faultless. Portsmouth 1 up.
Every time I look at the game at the Reebok, the ball is in the Bolton penalty area.
Arsenal have been magnificent in the second half. They were penalised for a sending off, and quite rightly. But with 10 men, I think it's been one of the best displays I've seen for some time.
I was just going to say he's brought on Walcott and Adebayor, which have really made an impact on the game. they've been breathtaking about the last 10-15 minutes of this match.
Walcott's just skipped into the box there, Ray, and it was a foul. I think he could have gone down for a penalty kick. It's only his honesty that kept him on his feet, but he would have been within his rights to go down.
If Arsenal just keep this commitment and this sort of tempo and spirit, then they just wouldn't be in the predicament they would in terms of the title chase. But the performance, if they can keep that momentum and take that into the games against Liverpool, I think they could find themselves back in the semi-finals of the Champions League. It's the best performance I've seen for some time from Arsenal.
Let's be straight. A point would be a bonus for Bolton, third bottom in the table. They might have thought we won't get much out of this.
It'll be a bonus for them, but from the position they were in, I think they'd come off the pitch disappointed, because it would have been a great chance to get the 3 points. I still think that, if Arsenal get a point out of this, I think they need to win the game myself. They
are going for it, though.
But they are going for it. They're going for the win.
In the Championship this afternoon, let's see if the situation had changed at some of the top games. Sheffield Wednesday, third bottom. Stoke, top of the table. Harry Grayson.
What's he do that for?
Can't go to Harry Grayson at the moment. Let's go to Bristol City. Bristol City playing Norwich this afternoon. Bristol City kicking off in second place. Hamish Marshall.
We're inside 3 minutes of stoppage time. We've played just 45 seconds of that. Bristol City trying everything they can. They know they can't afford to drop another 2 points at home, but it's looking as if that's going to be the way. They haven't been able to defend their lead here, and after the break it really has been mostly Norwich that have been in control. Jamie Curriton, impressive form as well, but the goal scorer was Darren Huckabee, who got the equaliser. Dele Adebola putting Bristol City in front. Looks like we're heading for a draw here. A couple of minutes to go.
Final whistles are starting to sound all around the country. All over for Gretna. The romantic story of them moving up and down the divisions over the last few years. It's all come to an end. They're relegated out of the SPL. Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, it's finished St Mirren 2, Gretna 0. And as one famous commentator once said, they think it's all over. Well, it is now for Gretna. Craig Dargo and Billy Mehmet were the players on targets for Saints this afternoon. For Gretna, the battle now is all about survival. Now relegated in administration and having to rely on youths and players on loan to put a team in the park. The future, you would have to say, looks very bleak indeed for the black and whites. It finished at Love Street. St Mirren 2, relegated Gretna 0.
Rochdale haven't been promoted or relegated since the 70s. Every chance they'll get into the playoffs this season. They're 2 up away at Brentford and on course for a playoff place. To Hillsborough, Harry Grayson watching Sheffield Wednesday against Championship leader Stoke.
It's all Sheffield Wednesday at the moment, I have to say, Ray. Stoke really played the better football in the first half, got that goal from Richard Creswell. Frank Songo then, a tremendous equaliser from 25 yards. Wednesday putting the pressure on. We're into the last 2 minutes, 1-1.
The momentum is with Hull. They're playing and winning week in, week out. And this afternoon they're playing and beating fourth place Watford. Third against fourth at the KC Stadium. James Mason reporting.
Yeah, it's been emphatic rain. It's still 3-0 with Hull in complete control. They could go second if results stand. On this performance, they look good for automatic promotion. Goals from Turner, Campbell and Folan have been the difference. It's Hull 3, Watford 0.
Another goal at the Hawthorns. Which way's it gone, Andy Barwell?
Really important goal. It looks like West Bromwich Albion could have rescued a point. 45 seconds from the end of normal time. Substitute James Morrison back from injury. He's looks like he could have rescued a point there for West Brom. It's now West Brom 3, Colchester 3.
And another goal at the Reebok Stadium. Bolton against Arsenal. Bolton 2 up. Arsenal back in the game. Another goal. Damian Johnson.
Sensationally, Arsenal are still in the title race. A late goal. It's being credited to Fabregas, but I think the shot took a deflection. A left-wing run from Pleb. Fabregas swung a leg at it, and it hit J. Lloyd Samuel on the way into the net. Samuel celebrating his 27th birthday today. And Fabregas, with the help of Samuel, has kept Arsenal in the title race. 3-2, and we're in injury time now.
Arsenal out of the title race in the Premier League, but right back in it. Bristol City against Norwich in the Championship. Hamish Marshall.
They're just about to kick off again because we've had fairy tale stuff here. Steve Brooker, who's missed almost the entire campaign from Bristol City through injury, has headed them into a 2-1 lead and surely secured them 3 points and ending a 6-match winless run. Bristol City 2, Norwich 1 in deep in stoppage time.
Final whistles going all around the country. Bristol City top of the table. Successive promotions perhaps for Bristol City going right up into the top flight. Who knows? But what about Arsenal? 2 down, 10 men, out of the title race, right back in it.
You've got to watch this match on Match of the Day tonight. It is extraordinary. It's got everything in it. The comeback's great.
It's the king of all comebacks, this, by the way, from the position they were in.
Bolton will be kicking themselves, won't they?
Oh, well, because the goal they conceded, the first goal they conceded, just takes the rest of the game away from them because they're on the back foot after that and they're nervous, and that's what lets Arsenal go and play the football they played.
From the title race to the relegation issue to Pride Park, Ivan Gaskell reporting on the Derby-Fulham match, and Derby relegated.
The fat lady is in full voice at Pride Park. Derby 2, Fulham 2, Derby down, about as inevitable as Christmas. Derby the first team ever relegated from the Premier League before the end of March. But they went down with some dignity, an improved display that's inflicted a real blow to Fulham's survival prospects. Derby's Argentinian striker Tito Villa scored twice, Kamara, then Bouatsa for Fulham. But Derby had cancelled that second goal out within a minute of it being scored. It may prove a critical 60 seconds. Derby down, Fulham wobbling, 2-2.
Let's go to the Stadium of Light. Steve Sutton, another vital game as far as the relegation issue is concerned. Sunderland, West Ham, a goal. Steve Sutton.
Yes, it's gone to Sunderland, Ray. Sunderland 2, West Ham 1, and I made that 5.5 minutes into 5 minutes of added on time. Andy Reid sweeping it into the net, and the final whistle's just gone. 3 valuable points, 3 so valuable points for Sunderland there. Adam Reid, 5.5 minutes into added on time, sweeping the ball into the net. How many times have Sunderland done that this season? Well, they've done it again, and it's 3 so valuable points. Sunderland 2, West Ham 1.
Really important.
Oh, it's a vital 3 points to Sunderland. First away win last Saturday. They're building on it with a home win. And 3 points for Birmingham. They kicked off 4th bottom in the table. There's life in the Blues yet. Andrew James.
Birmingham 3, Manchester City 1. Keep right on to the end of the road is the song here, and that's what Birmingham will have to do, but they've taken a massive step along that road. 2 goals from Zarate, their Argentinian striker, either side of half-time, and a Gary McSheffrey penalty, a controversial one for a foul by Sunji Hai, has given Birmingham the points. Elano's penalty, which led to the sending off of Frank Quadru from Birmingham, sandwiched in between, but really Manchester City were never in this game. Birmingham City 3, Manchester City 1.
Full-time whistles going all around the country. Ipswich 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Hull 3, Watford 0. 2 vital games in the Championship. A late goal at the Hawthorns. Andy Barwell watching the West Bromwich Albion Colchester game.
A sensational finish at the Hawthorns. We're still playing here deep into stoppage time. Chris Brunt with the cross. Roman Bednar with the header to give West Bromwich Albion a 4-3 advantage. Colchester still trying to press to get something out of this for the moment. 4-3 West Brom.
Oh, what a game at the Hawthorns this afternoon. Meanwhile, let's go to Fratton Park. Portsmouth, FA Cup semi-final next weekend. Premier League game this afternoon at home to Wigan, watched by Tony Lockwood.
Portsmouth 2, Wigan 0. David James underlining his importance to this Pompey side with an inspired display. Jermaine Defoe, match winner, squeezing the ball home from the tightest of angles. A goal again for the player since Harry Redknapp resurrected his career. Wigan awarded a controversial penalty. James saved Ryan Taylor's spot kick, and then Defoe raced through to score his, and Portsmouth second. Wembley is up next. Portsmouth 2, Wigan 0.
We're still trying to catch our breath. What an incredible afternoon it's been. Let's go to the Majeski Stadium. Roger Johnson watched the Reading-Blackburn game. Reading only 5 points above the relegation places when the match got going.
Well, they have a point today. Reading 0, Blackburn 0, a game which only really came to life after Reading's Marek Matejowski was sent off for a second yellow card, and it was the 10 men who could have won it. Andre Piquet's header was blocked on the line. Stephen Hunt missed completely when unmarked. At the other end, Rovers' Roque Santa Cruz was denied at the death. Harneman also saved well earlier from Bentley and Pedersen. If only the whole match had been as exciting as the final quarter hour. It finished Reading 0, Blackburn 0.
Vinnie Printer confirming the end of a dramatic game at the Reebok this afternoon. Bolton against Arsenal. The story of a sensational match comes from Damien Johnson.
Well, where do you start? Bolton 2, 10-man Arsenal 3, an absorbing game to the end in the rain at the Reebok. A late goal won it for Arsenal. Bolton raced into a 2-goal first-half lead, and Matt Taylor returning to goal-scoring form. A fine header and a deflected shot. In between, Abu Diaby was rightly shown a straight red card for an awful lunge at Bolton's Greta Steinson. After the break, a stirring fight back from Arsenal. First, William Gallas, the captain, ghosted in at the far post as Bolton's defenders dithered. Van Persie converted a penalty after Cahill tripped Hleb. Then at the death, the goal that keeps Arsenal's title hopes alive. Fabregas swung a leg at a cross and the ball went in off J. Lloyd Samuel. Heartbreak for Bolton, breathtaking stuff.
Well, Garth, just can you talk through the significance of this result, please, as far as you say it, as far as the title race is concerned, but also relegation?
Well, Arsenal, obviously, I had them winning, taking no points today. Van Persie, I thought, was outstanding, as were his teammates. I think that they played such a controlled and professional second half. I thought he was outstanding. Their momentum, not just 3 points for Arsenal, but their momentum. Captain's performance by William Gallas. Completely controlled, led his men and got them the points. Outstanding performance.
Was an outstanding performance. William Gallas was gifted a goal by Steinson, who just completely left him. Dereliction of duty, if you like. Gary Megson will be furious in the dressing room because that gave give Arsenal a chance to get back into the game.
And that's the thing, you know, when you look at Bolton now, from the position that they were in that game, they go off that field and they are dropping like a stone. They are, 4 points from safety now? And they're in big trouble.
The significance is, though, as well as Ray, is the momentum that Arsenal have gained from this. I spoke to Gail Clichy midweek. He talks about confidence. If they can't gain confidence from that performance going into those 3 games with Liverpool, they never can.
Arsenal out of it, back in it, over to Manchester United, who play Aston Villa at Old Trafford, 5:15 kick-off. Quite a day in the Championship too. Sheffield Wednesday against Stoke. Stoke kicked off the leaders, watched by Harry Grayson.
Well, Ray, Stoke didn't exactly choke, but they were throttled at times at the end by Wednesday. Cresswell, of course, delighted with his goal on his return to Hillsborough in the first half, but it has to be said that he and Amiobi missed more chances. Stoke really should have polished this game off in the first 10 minutes of the second half. And then Frank Songo, with his absolutely tremendous 25-yard goal, summed up really what Wednesday believe at the moment. They just never give up. They'll need all the points they can get. 1-1, just about deserved, I think.
So the leaders drop points, but Bristol City go from strength to strength. Hamish Marshall reporting.
Yeah, they've beaten Norwich by 2-1, so 3 points for Bristol City. To be honest, though, it wasn't deserved. Norwich were the better team, but they didn't take the chances. Bristol City did. The most vital from substitute Steve Brooker with a header deep in added time. It's a first win in 6 for Bristol City. Maybe it is their promotion season after all.
And it was 3rd against 4th. Let's hear about Hull playing Watford from James Mason.
Yes, Ray, a near-capacity home crowd, 3 good goals and none conceded. Can things get any better for promotion chasing Hull City? Michael Turner's first-minute header got the ball rolling, with strikes from Fraser Campbell and Caleb Fulham putting the result beyond doubt. Steve Cabber's sending off for Watford only added insult to injury for them, as it was Hull's day. It ended Hull 3, Watford 0.
And West Bromwich Albion had a nice quiet warm-up for their FA Cup semi-final next Saturday. Andy Barwell reporting.
Fantastic stuff. Colchester, though, looked like they'd snatched a vital 3 points in their relegation fight. Kevin Lisby seemed to have secured it for them, but West Brom just wouldn't lie down. Their automatic promotion hopes back on track. An equaliser from James Morrison in the 90th minute. A stoppage time winner from Roman Bednar. Breathless stuff here. Full-time, West Brom 4, Colchester 3.
All the results are just about in. Time for Tim Gudgeon to confirm today's final scores.
Opening with the Barclays Premier League, Birmingham City 3, Manchester City 1. Bolton Wanderers 2, Arsenal 3. Derby County 2, Fulham 2. Manchester United and Aston Villa kick off at 5:15. Portsmouth 2, Wigan Athletic 0. Reading 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Sunderland 2, West Ham United 1. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Bristol City 2, Norwich City 1. Burnley 2, Barnsley 1. Cardiff City 1, Southampton 0. Charlton Athletic and Wolverhampton Wanderers, an evening kick-off. Coventry City 3, Plymouth Argyle 1. Crystal Palace 0, Blackpool 0. Hull City 3, Watford 0. Ipswich Town 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Leicester City 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Preston North End 3, Sheffield United 1. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Stoke City 1. West Bromwich Albion 4, Colchester United 3. Coca-Cola League 1, Bournemouth 2, Millwall 0. Cheltenham Town 1, Northampton Town 1. Gillingham 0, Carlisle United 0. Hartlepool United 1, Swansea City 3. Leeds United 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Luton Town 2, Crewe Alexandra 1. Oldham Athletic 4, Huddersfield Town 1. Port Vale 2, Leyton Orient 1. Southend United 1, Walsall 0. Yeovil Town 0, Bristol Rovers 0. League 2, Barnet 3, Wrexham 2. Brentford 0, Rochdale 2. Chester City's match with Stockport County abandoned. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Chesterfield 3. Darlington 1, Bradford City 3. Macclesfield Town 2, Accrington Stanley 1. Morecambe 5, Rotherham United 1. Notts County 0, Mansfield Town 0. Peterborough United 4, Lincoln City 0. Shrewsbury Town 0, Bury 1. In the Blue Square Premier, Altrincham 1, Torquay United 1. Cambridge United 0, Kidderminster Harriers 3. Exeter City 1, Halifax Town 0. Farnsley Celtic 4, Weymouth 2. Grays Athletic 2, Crawley Town 1. Oxford United 0, Northwich Victoria 1. Rushton and Diamonds 0, Droylsden 0. Stafford Rangers 1, Aldershot Town 2. Woking 3, Histon 3. And York City 0, Edgefleet United 1. The Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Falkirk 0, Kilmarnock 0. Hearts 1, Dundee United 0. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 3, Aberdeen 4. Motherwell 1, Hibernian 0. Rangers 1, Celtic 0. And St Mirren 2, Gretna 0. Ernbury Scottish Division 1, Dundee 2, Clyde 0. Hamilton Academical 0, Partick Thistle 0. Livingston 2, Stirling Albion 1. Queen of the South 0, Morton 0. St Johnstone 1, Dunfermline Athletic 1. Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United's match with Ross County postponed. Alloa Athletic 1, Ayr United 2. Berwick Rangers 2, Peterhead 2. Cowdenbeath 0, Brechin City 2. Wraith Rovers 0, Queen's Park 1. And Scottish Div 3, Dumbarton 0, Stranraer 1. East Stirling 3, Albion Rovers 0. Elgin City 2, Arbroath 1. Forfar Athletic 2, East Fife 3. Montrose 2, Stenhousemuir 1. In the Welsh Premier, Llangefni Town 4, Neath 2. Welshpool Town 1, Carsws 1. And in the FA Carlsberg Vase semi-final, second leg, Needham Market 0, Kirkham and Westham 1. In the aggregate, Kirkham and Westham need win 4-2. Whitley Bay 3, Lowestoft Town 0. In the aggregate, Lowestoft Town win 4-3.
And plenty of debate and discussion in the light of those results on the way. It's Gavin, Peacock, Gary Pallister and Garth Crooks on duty in the Final Score studio. But first, here's the updated league tables. And in the Barclays Premier League, with leaders Manchester United kicking off shortly, Arsenal move above Chelsea into second place following a hard-fought 3-2 win at Bolton. First win in 5 for the Gunners. Portsmouth stay 6 after a home victory against Wigan Athletic. Now 4 points behind Everton, who play Liverpool in the Merseyside derby tomorrow. Blackburn leapfrog Aston Villa after their draw at Reading. Derby County are relegated from the Premier League. Their 2-2 draw at home with Fulham isn't enough to save them after Birmingham City beat Manchester City 3-1. It's the first March relegation in Premier League history. The draw does little for Fulham's hopes of survival either. They're now 7 points from safety. Bolton's loss to Arsenal means they're now 4 points from safety. Wins for Birmingham and Sunderland boost their hopes of avoiding the drop. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Bristol City are the new leaders after their last gasp win against Norwich. Stoke dropped to second after being held by Sheffield Wednesday. Hull stay third after their convincing win over Watford, who dropped to fifth. West Bromwich Albion's dramatic win against Colchester means they move up to fourth, while Ipswich move into the playoff spots at the expense of Plymouth. Colchester are bottom of the Championship, still 5 points behind Scunthorpe, who lost to Leicester. Colchester, Scunthorpe United and Sheffield Wednesday occupying the relegation places as things stand. Let's move on to Coca-Cola League One. Leader Swansea moves 7 points clear at the top of the table with a 3-1 victory at Hartlepool. Now just 9 points from promotion to the Championship. Carlisle remains second after a goalless draw at Gillingham. Doncaster beat Nottingham Forest on Friday night to remain in the race for the automatic promotion places. Tranmere Rovers also won on Friday night. They hold the final playoff place. The bottom. Port Vale, Bournemouth and Luton Town all win as the bottom three enjoy rare successes. They all live to fight another day but remain deep in trouble. Gillingham's point with Carlisle allows them to edge closer to Crewe, who lost at Luton. The Gills still trail Crewe by 4 points in the race to avoid the final relegation place. And in Coca-Cola League 2, with MK Dons playing in the Johnston Pates Trophy final tomorrow. Peterborough, who beat Lincoln today, are the new leaders of League 2. Hereford, who weren't in action today, but Darlington couldn't take advantage, losing at Bradford. No change at the bottom. Wrexham stay at the foot of the table after their defeat. Notts County and Mansfield shared the points in a draw that doesn't really help either of them in their fight to avoid relegation. Macclesfield have moved up to 19th after their win against Accrington. Chester's game with Stockport was abandoned because of the bad weather during the second half. Blue Square Premier League. Aldershot continue their push for a return to the Football League. The Shots recorded their 29th league victory this season at Stafford Rangers. Torquay stay second despite dropping points with a draw at Altrincham. Burton, Cambridge, Stevenage complete the playoff picture. Droylsden stay bottom after a draw at Rushden. Stafford Rangers lost again, and the bottom two now cast adrift. Looks like 2 from 5 to fill the other relegation places. Just 3 points separate 18th from 22nd. In the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Rangers have one hand on the SPL title after their 4th consecutive Old Firm win. Walter Smith's side now 6 points clear of the reigning champion Celtic. They have a game in hand, but there are still 2 Old Firm games to be played, both at Celtic Park. Beleaguered Gretna have been relegated after their 23rd defeat of the season. Dundee United in 3rd, going for a UEFA Cup spot. Iron Brew Scottish Division 1. Hamilton's lead down to 4 points after a goalless draw at home to Partick. Dundee beat Clyde and put real pressure on the leaders if they win their game in hand. Bottom club Stirling Albion now 11 points adrift at the foot of the table after losing to Livingston. Morton moved level on points with Clyde, and that was after a draw at Queen of the South. Division 2. Ross County could have clinched the title and promotion today, but their match at second place Derby was called off because of a waterlogged pitch. Berwick are relegated after being held to a draw by Peterhead. In Division 3, East Fife clinched their first league championship for 60 years a fortnight ago. They won again today, coming from behind to beat Forfar. East Stirling won today but remain bottom of the 3rd division. If they're still in that position at the end of the season, they will face a vote in 2010 whether they should be allowed to remain in the league. That's how the tables stand. Post-match reaction to come after this summary of the top football stories of the day. Derby County suffer the earliest relegation in Premier League history. The 2-2 draw with Fulham isn't enough to save them. The point not good enough for Fulham either in their own fight to avoid the drop. 10-man Arsenal come back from a 2-goal deficit to earn victory at Bolton, keeping the Gunners' title hopes alive. Mauro Zerati double and a Gary McSheffrey penalty give 10-man Birmingham a priceless victory over Manchester City. Andy Reid's late winner earned the Black Cats a vital 3 points in their relegation fight. Jermaine Defoe made it 8 goals in 7 games. David James saved a penalty in Portsmouth's 2-0 win over Wigan. Reading and Blackburn shared the points in a goalless stalemate at the Madejski Stadium. All the goals from all those games and all the major incidents will be shown in tonight's Match of the Day, plus action from the Manchester United-Aston Villa match still to be played. That's a 10:25 start here on BBC One. And it's a 10 o'clock start tomorrow night for Match of the Day 2 on BBC 2. Chelsea Middlesbrough, a Merseyside derby of huge significance, and Tottenham versus Newcastle, all on the agenda. Quite an afternoon, Garth.
an amazing afternoon. There were so many games with so many issues to be resolved, but for me the most outstanding game in the Premiership anyway was Arsenal-Bolton. Arsenal with 10 men played most magnificent football in the second half, which we know they can do, but their resolve and spirit was something we've not seen for quite a few games. They showed it today.
Let's sort a few things out. No argument with the sending off in the first half for Arsenal?
No, I don't think so. Diaby was wild, reckless, dangerous with the challenge. He caught Steinson's standing foot nowhere near the ball, and he had to go, Ray.
Do we see it in the way of the Arsenal's title challenge was over, but now all of a sudden they've got themselves right back in it? And will today be significant in terms of momentum for them?
Yeah, it would have been over, there's no doubt about it. I think, you know, you can probably expect Manchester United to win today at home against Aston Villa. That would have taken them 9 points.
Correct.
Probably clear, and you would have to say that it's definitely over. They pulled the performance out from nowhere, really. Bolton were dominating the game, they were bullying Arsenal. They self-destruct Bolton to an extent, but some of the football Arsenal played in the last 20-25 minutes of the game was breathtaking.
But it does keep the race a three-horse race at the moment, because United and Chelsea can't slip up.
How do you see the significance of Birmingham's win today at home to Manchester City?
Well, it's a big win. It's huge. And, of course, with Bolton and Bolton losing the grip on this game, I think it's a game that they would have probably expected to lose, perhaps, before. But from the position they were in, they go out of that game with such a negative vibe about them. They continue that drop that they've been feeling for the last few weeks, and they really are finding themselves in trouble. Another nail in the coffin of Fulham as well, because again they go to Derby, who have been struggling all season. They were in a good position, and they can't hold on to a lead. They only get a point out of that game, so it's another nail in their coffin as well. And it's still tight. I mean, Newcastle dropped down, you know, because of today's results, and they've got to go to White Hart Lane tomorrow.
What a scrap we would have had if Bolton had won, because everybody's right back in the mix. Now, the teams that are just above them have got that little bit of a buffer now, a little bit of a comfort zone. They've got 4 points between them now.
Are we saying Sunderland are all but safe now?
Oh, I've said for some time, I think 36 points will be the magic number that'll keep you up this year, because it's not been a great competition at the very bottom. I mean, they've got 33 now. 6 points in the last 2 games, Sunderland. Yep. They must be feeling a huge sigh of relief, both Roy Keane and the entire team.
Yeah, and of course Sunderland, good at home. Good at home. You know, they've redressed that balance as well at home, because they hadn't won for a little while. And Jones was playing today, gets the first goal. And of course Sunderland have got West Ham. They've played West Ham at home. They've got a couple more home games, which I think they could capitalise on.
What do you feel as far as Fulham are concerned now? Looking difficult for them to stay in the Premier League.
I think so.
Yeah, I think Fulham have put themselves in a very difficult position now.
Well, a significant afternoon. Let's get to the Reebok now, because Arsenal were out of the title race that appeared. 10 men, all of a sudden they're back. They've won 3-2. We're looking forward to hearing from the Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger.
Well, Arsene, that is an incredible win, isn't it?
It's an incredible win, because it was a real mental test today. It looked like everything goes against us, and of course 2-0 down at half time, 10 men against 11, and you know that a 2-2 is not good enough. Demanded a lot from us, but I'm very proud of the team, because they gave absolutely everything, and we had, even at 2-2, we had 3-4 good chances to score the third goal before, but we did fight until the last second of the game, and we got a great win today.
Can we just get the red card out of the way? Any complaints?
No, I feel it was not an aggressive a desire in there to hit. It was more protective tackle, but it was a fraction high, and he got a red card. We cannot complain.
At 2-0 at the break, did you think it had gone? What sort of response did you sense from your players?
But they were not giving up, and we wanted, of course, to dig deep and to try everything to come back. And then you know that you're as well under the threat to concede the third goal. And but you have to go for it, and we did that in a marvellous way.
Is that the sort of mental toughness you've called for?
I said many times that this team is mentally very strong, and we have been hit very hard by our defeat at Chelsea. That was very harsh to take, but we responded today, and we'll fight until the last minute of this championship, and these players will do it.
Thanks, Arsene.
And coming up on Monday night, Inside Sport features an interview with Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger. BBC One, start time 11:25. I think you can hear in Arsene Wenger's voice, you can hear in the manner of which he conducted himself there. All of a sudden, from being in a very difficult situation, it's all right back on.
I'm somewhat relieved that he saw the Diarra challenge and he acknowledged that it was a bad challenge and he had to go, because he would have taken the gloss off what was a magnificent performance. I'm very impressed with Gallas. I mean, a few weeks ago we were saying, you know, he's behaving like a bit of a baby. He was a man today, and so are his teammates.
Can you pick out a few performances in the Arsenal side today that are of high significance, Gary?
Well, I think the changing point came. I mean, all right, we talk about Bolton's bad defending for the first goal. It gives him a bit of a lifeline. But Arsene Wenger also threw on Theo Walcott and Adebayor, who we may be resting for the European game in midweek. They came on, giving him a bit fresher legs, giving him a bit more impetus, more of a threat behind Bolton, and it really sent panics in the Bolton ranks, and they were fantastic come the last 20-25 minutes.
Been question marks of William Gallas in recent weeks at club level. How did he perform today, and did you see leadership qualities?
Yeah, well,
were
better.
important?
Yeah, as Garth made the point, you know, he has been criticised, but today you won't criticise him. You'll say, well, he's come into and pulled back a goal which was a vital goal.
Oh, he was a leader today.
And that shows a leadership quality.
He was a leader today, no doubt.
You know, he was getting about. I noticed as well, Ray. You know, when they were defending set pieces, he was getting that line organised, and he was shouting and he was cajoling players, and that's what you want from your captain.
He wanted to win. You could see he desperately wanted to win. There was a stage where they were 2-2, and he was looking for the winner. He's in the penalty area. He's screaming to his players to get into the box. Don't worry about defence. You know, let's go for the win.
You feel there's been a conversation with him and Arsene Wenger, and Arsene has said to him after that, you know, performance at Birmingham, we need more from you as a leader, and he responded today.
2-0 down, 10 men coming back to win. Great character from Arsenal today. John Motson was at the Majeski Stadium for the Reading-Blackburn game. He joins us now. John, we're debating here the significance of the result of the Reebok.
Yes, I think I said to you earlier, Ray, that I thought that match today would have significant effect on both ends of the table, and it certainly has. As the boys have rightly said, Arsenal are right back in the thick of the championship race. Don't make any mistake about that, especially after being 2 down. And I really think Bolton, when they look at the league table tonight and tomorrow morning, are going to fear that they're going down with Derby and Fulham.
As far as Derby are concerned, it just highlights how difficult it is to be promoted from the Championship and really hold your own, John.
Yeah, they weren't well enough prepared when they came up, in my opinion, Ray. I saw the playoff final last year, and of course they start 3 weeks after everybody else trying to buy players. That's the lesson for the team that comes up in the playoffs this year. Just talking about that for him, isn't that exciting at the top of the Championship now, with Hull City steaming forward with all these six successive wins and could go straight through and get automatic promotion.
Do you fear for Fulham as well now, John, to join Derby?
Oh, yeah, I think Fulham, no disrespect, but I think Fulham are as good as down. I can't see a miracle there at all. I really can't. I think they've got too much ground to make up. And when you look at the other results today, Ray, Birmingham winning, Sunderland winning, those were significant results. I mean, Reading here will be sorry that they couldn't have won, but I think even the point they got here might be seen as one gained. And I reckon it's not going to be long before Fulham and Bolton find themselves cut off.
Now, ball in Manchester United's court. They beat Aston Villa in the 5:15 kick-off, and then we're talking about the title race again.
Well, we are, and we're talking about it again tomorrow when Chelsea play at home to Middlesbrough, aren't we? I mean, anything other than 2 home wins there would be a fantastic surprise. However, don't forget the 2 big games still to come. Arsenal will now go to Old Trafford on the 13th of April in much better heart than they would have done if they'd lost at Bolton. And Chelsea and Manchester United still have to meet, of course. So, therefore, those 2 games, I mean, hugely significant. Chelsea, Man U at the end of April, they will have a profound effect on the outcome, but as Steve Coppell said to me earlier today, April's a funny month, and who knows, there may be points dropped elsewhere.
John, nice to talk to you. Thanks for your thoughts on the way the Barclays Premier League season is developing. So, a 2-2 draw with Fulham couldn't save Derby from becoming the first ever Premier League team to be relegated in March. Here's their manager, Paul Jewell.
Paul, your first relegation as a manager, how does that feel?
Well, it's not very pleasant, that's for sure. So it's been inevitable for a while, to be perfectly honest, Tony, but almost relief. Not relief it's come, but we know it's out the way officially, and we can try and take some crumbs of comfort out the rest of the season. It's been a long, hard season for everybody, particularly the supporters. So hopefully this time next season we're in a better mood, we're happier, and we're going back into the Premiership and going to be competitive in it.
Yeah. There must be some crumbs of comfort for you, though, in the way your team performed today. I mean, you've drawn 2-2 with Fulham, but you could easily have scored 4 or 5 goals.
We created lots of chances today. I thought it might be a decent game today because I felt for Fulham they'd probably see this as a bit of a must-win game, and for us it was obviously there's a no-lose situation as far as any point relegation is considered. But I was pleased with the efforts. I was really pleased that we bounced back after a setback with a deflection for their second goal. And you know, we've only got 16 players now fit at the moment. You know, with my decision, I've let a lot of players go out on loan. And we're building for next season, and everything we do between now and then will be with the future in mind.
Paul Jewell dignified in defeat and relegation. A late goal from Andy Reid saw Sunderland pull 7 points clear of the relegation zone with a 2-1 victory over West Ham. Here's Sunderland boss Roy Keane.
Roy, can you give us a glimmer into your innermost emotions when that strike from Andy Reid found the back of the net?
Obviously I was fairly happy at the end, especially to score so late. We knew obviously the time was up and they wouldn't have a chance to even kick off, and you know, I think we just about deserved it. I thought we started the game very, very poor. Our first half was, I thought, pretty shocking, but we came back and good character from the players, and I think we just about deserved it on the second half performance.
What do you put down that the slack start that your team put in? Was it the tension that was around the ground?
Possibly so. There can be lots of reasons for players not actually, you know, starting well, but I do believe in my own time as a player, you got to start games quickly. You can't just, you know, expect things to happen. And we stood off West Ham today, and they outpassed us, they outplayed us, and as I said, I could have played easily today for West Ham because nobody got near any of the players. So, you know, there was a few harsh words said at half time, and obviously the players reacted in the correct way. And I think the second half we created the better opportunities, and I thought we were the better team. And you know, I spoke to the manager after the game, and he was in agreement. We thought we just about edged it, and it was a big goal for us at the end.
Sunderland playing their way to safety, Derby relegated. 10-man Birmingham won 3-1 at home to Manchester City. Here's Birmingham boss Alex McLeish.
Alex, you've sort of complained recently that your side hasn't necessarily got what they've deserved. Do you feel today you finally put that right?
I thought the first 45 minutes was fantastic, and we really put City on the rack, and you know, we finally got a goal. I thought we weren't going to get the goal with the chances we had, the crosses we put in the box, the enterprising play. But finally we got the breakthrough, and we asked the players at half-time for more of the same, and we started okay, but an error. And getting the second goal was a brilliant finish, but an error and a pass back, it was meant it was backs against the wall.
In this relegation battle that you're in, did you sense the nerves around St Andrews?
The way this team have been playing, I don't think we've seen any nerves from the players. I think that maybe with the club being up and down in the Premier League and the Championship over the past few years, there's maybe a little bit of nervousness there from start to finish in a season. But I haven't seen any evidence in the dressing room or in the training field or in the performances. We have to stop shipping in goals. We have to finish at the other end. Today, I think we would have got a shutout, but for the pass back that cost us the goal. So, other than that, it was exceptional.
4 points from safety. How confident are you that Birmingham will stay up, Garth?
After today's victory, I think they can, and I feel that they've got a very good chance of staying up. You know, I've always thought the magic number this year would be 36. And they've edged closer to that number.
Huge next week away at Wigan.
Yeah.
Huge game.
How confident are you, or would you say the bottom three as is will be the three that go down, or is it too presumptuous to say that?
I think we're jumping the gun a little bit. I think, as Garth said, what effect that's going to have on Bolton today. To lose so badly the way they did against the 10-man Arsenal team, the mental effects that's going to have on the rest of their season.
What's your view overall on the relegation issue now, Gavin?
Well, it's not over. I mean, Bolton are, you know, I think Fulham will go with Derby, and then it's that third place. Bolton look likely, but there's still big games to go, and I still feel there might be one or two twists, although if you were to ask me now, I'm going to say Bolton.
The reason I feel that Bolton have gone is because I think this result, having been 2-0 up against 10 men, will have been so significant. Yeah. To pick them up off the floor for any manager is going to be very difficult. Yeah.
Arsenal will be on the way home now, thinking that at some stage of this afternoon it was all over for them for the title. They'll be driving back south now thinking it's very much on.
Pivotal game this for both those teams, psychologically. Arsenal going that way, thinking game on still. Bolton going the other way and being drawn into it and the life sucked out of them.
Arsenal can't wait for that Liverpool game to come round. They can't wait, and quite rightly.
It just shows how it can change in sort of 15, 20 minutes of play. 2 down, 10 men, it's all over, and they find something. That is the mark of a top team.
It is a mark of a top team, but it's also a mark of the problems that Bolton have got as well, because the goal they concede, I keep saying that allows Arsenal back, because up to then it was a matter of when Bolton were going to score the third goal.
Yes.
They penned Arsenal back in their own half, they looked devoid of ideas, they give away a sloppy goal, all of a sudden Arsenal get a lift, and they take the game to Bolton after that.
I'm watching the game again tonight, make no mistake about that.
Fantastic game, fantastic
Have some
football.
exciting Saturdays and Sundays to come, I think, Gavin.
Few to come, definitely.
Now, as always, full details on all today's football news on the BBC Sport website, all the results, the goal scorers, the tables and sports news across the board. We're about to say goodbye to BBC One viewers, but today's football service continues now on BBC I. Press the red button and follow the links to stay with us here in the Final Score studio. We'll continue to discuss and debate all today's football news. This is where we close on BBC One. Press the red button to stay with the Final Score studio. Otherwise, bye for now.